Now, Ivanka Trump is planning to take on a more formal role in the White House, according to different outlets. So apparently, Ivanka Trump will now be an unpaid advisor to her father. So this is an official role, unpaid advisor. So this is what they wrote in the New York Times. The announcement on Wednesday amounts to the formal recognition of the value Mr. Trump places on the judgment and loyalty of both his daughter and his son-in-law. While relying on family members for advice is hardly unusual for a president, giving them a formal role has very few precedents. So look, now we have Jared Kushner, son-in-law, and Ivanka Trump in the White House. They're serving as advisors. Kushner is a senior advisor to Trump. So now you're asking, wait a minute, isn't there laws against this? How is this legal? Now back to the Times. When questions were raised about whether Mr. Kushner's appointment violated federal anti-nepotism laws, the Justice Department wrote a memo in January concluding that these rules did not apply to the White House. So they're admitting there that, yeah, this is nepotism. This would break nepotism laws. But good thing we've got Jeff Sessions in there to say, you know what? That's okay. We don't like those rules. So we're just gonna say that they don't apply. Isn't being in power fun? We could do whatever the hell we want and get away with it. And that's what they're doing. Yes, it is nepotism. But unfortunately for us, it is the legal kind. So now, again, this is apparently justified because she'll be unpaid. In fact, she released a statement. I'm going to read some of that. She said, I've heard the concerns that some may have with my advising the president in my personal capacity while voluntarily complying with all ethics rules. And I will instead serve as an unpaid employee in the White House, subject to all of the same rules as other federal employees. Now, let me stop there for a second. There's something interesting in that. Okay. Advising the president in my personal capacity while voluntarily complying with all ethics rules. They're ethics rules. Why should you have to voluntarily, comply? They're rules. They're supposed to be there for a reason. If you can voluntarily follow the rules, you can also voluntarily not follow the rules. That's a bit of a problem. I have an issue with that. Those ethics rules should not be voluntary. It's a very telling statement. Now, the Times continues, it was unclear Wednesday exactly what unpaid would mean for the first daughter. Donald Trump also initially said that he would not take a salary, but of course the White House later confirmed that he, yes, was collecting monthly paychecks. Of course. But he says, don't worry, I'm going to donate this money to charity. Right, just like the Trump Foundation. We all know how that turned out. Now, nonetheless, this new position formalizes a role of a 35-year-old former real estate executive has been playing for nearly a year, which is offering political advice to her father. So what kind of advice can she really give on political matters? I don't know. I mean, she's not a politician. She doesn't have any experience in politics. Though I guess considering her father also doesn't have any experience in politics, doesn't really matter anymore. But this whole thing has raised some ethical concerns from possible conflicts of interest. And now for that, I go back to the Times. Questions about conflicts of interest related to those businesses have trailed Mrs. Trump since her father won the presidency. In December, the New York Times reported that she had joined her father's meeting with Prime Minister Shinzo Abe of Japan, even as her company was finalizing a deal with an apparel company whose largest shareholder happens to be a Japanese government-owned bank. Okay, so that could have some conflicts of interest. That certainly has the appearance of a conflict of interest. However, of course, the deal was later called off, probably due to that. So, to minimize her future conflicts of interest, the Times reported, Mrs. Trump had transferred her brand's assets into a trust overseen by her brother-in-law, Josh Kushner, and sister-in-law, Nicole Meyer, and she insisted the help of Miss Gorlick, a prominent Democrat who had served as Deputy Attorney General under President Bill Clinton. So, okay, so she's got other people managing her businesses. Okay, that's fine. Now, under the terms of the trust, Ms. Gorlick will review all new deals for Ms. Trump's brand and flag any potential conflicts of interest to Ms. Trump, who can exercise veto power or recuse herself from White House business. Ms. Trump had also previously separated her personal and business social media accounts and handed over day-to-day operations of her business to the brand's president, Abigail Clem. So, okay, so that, I guess that takes care of the conflicts of interest, to be fair on this. All right. Now, the big problem here, other than the obvious nepotism thing, is that her position doesn't seem to be defined. It's kind of nebulous, right? What is she doing there? What exactly will she be advising him on if it isn't business related? What other things does she bring to the table? Now, again, she's a very successful businesswoman. And so, you know, if you're to get her advice on business matters, well, that would make a little bit of sense because that's what she knows. But she doesn't know anything about political matters. She's not a politician. So what is she there to do? Well, I have an idea. I think this is part of Donald Trump making his inner circle just a little bit more private. Basically, bringing in his kids to advise him. Well, when you bring in other people, outsiders, to advise him, well, some of the people get left out of the decision-making process. He's trying to shut other people out. So what he's doing, in my opinion at least, is that he's creating this insular inner circle with Steve Bannon, Jared Kushner, Ivanka Trump, and other very, very close Trump allies, people who have been proven to be sufficiently loyal to him, as Donald Trump values, I believe, loyalty among all else, or above all else. That's what I think is happening here. He's bringing in the loyal people, and he's leaving everyone out of important decisions and important talks. So he's going to lock out everyone else. So again, this is one of the ways this is very, very problematic. So I don't like the fact that he's bringing in people, you know, his own family. So this is pure nepotism, plain and simple. And he's going to get away with it. He's going to get away with it. And that's incredibly frustrating. And unfortunately, that's what you get when you vote for someone like this. They're going to break the rules flagrantly in your face. And without any sort of apology, without any sort of remorse. This is what they do, man. This is what they do. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.